We are here at the Amazon Prime New York City premiere of the movie Master, directed by Mariama Diallo and starring Regina Hall. Look forward to your favorite interviews next. How are you doing this evening, Regina? How exciting is this premiere for you?
So exciting, so exciting, so exciting to finally be here with the cast and actually see the film with an audience. We've never had a chance yet. Yeah, everything.
I would love to know what really drew you into this role as an actor, and what was really your method in preparing for this role?
I just really thought I loved the script. I thought Mariama had such incredible ideas. I loved kind of the social commentary with this backdrop of horror and the set of like the academic world of academia. And so I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I guess that's what it really was.
And what was Mariana's direction like? What kind of mentorship did she offer you in regards to a director or advice as an actor for this role?
She was just great. Incredibly smart, incredibly collaborative, like definitely knew what she wanted, such a clear vision for what she saw in the film, but also completely open to so many things. So I just think she's like, this is her first feature film debut, but first of many. I really think she's such an incredible and really exceptionally talented filmmaker.
So we don't have enough movies that are all female cast.
We also had a female DP.
Oh, great, amazing.
Hornsby, I don't know if she's here, but yeah, we had a female DP, a female director or so, and then our DP is also a camera operator. So it was 2 in 1. So we had all these, like, to see her like get in the chair, look behind the lens, it was pretty great.
I would love to know, what is that set like? What is that energy like? All females, all empowering each other. Is it different than a male-dominated set? I'm curious.
Yeah, obviously it's different energetically. It's not that a set with men is different, but it's just a different energy. I can't describe it. It's like, it's like clothing textures or fabrics, swatches. It's just it's different, but it was great.
So I know that the Oscars are coming up just a few weeks away. How excited are you for that, and how are you prepping for that? That's such a huge co-hosting role.
It's very exciting. I'm like, doing a lot of drinking. No, I'm not. I want to.
Are you nervous at all?
A little bit. I think, that happens to me even when I'm acting. Like, until it's like action and you're actually starting the role. When you hear action, it's different. So I think when you go on the stage, but right now it's kind of still fun because we're like collaborating and working on ideas and, doing jokes. So that part is still really fun because it's kind of like being like, oh, this would be great. You should do this. We should say this. So that part's fun.
All right, hello Zoe. You look like Cinderella. Who are you wearing tonight?
I'm wearing Christopher John Rogers tonight.
Amazing, amazing. So I would love to know what really drew you into this role. What really got you activated to say, I really, really want to do this role?
So many things, but I read the script the first time and I was hooked. It was a story that I hadn't heard before, I hadn't seen before. And I just had to fly to New York to convince Mariama to let me be a part in any way. Cast, crew, whatever.
Amazing. So. And this is an all-female crew, and I want to know, what kind of leadership did Regina provide, and what kind of leadership did the other actors provide?
Regina, honestly, she led by example, really. She never made me feel like I was, a student in her play. She really showed me how to be, and I listened and focused the entire time. I watched her, and she's amazing.
So I know that your dad is speech, who's basically part of Arrested Development, and I want to know, did that upbringing, kind of provide that sort of influence to go into the arts, or how did that work out?
Yeah, no, it definitely did. Seeing him exchange energy with the crowd was the coolest thing in the world. So I started acting because I wanted to do the same thing. I got this new tattoo for him, love you, Dad, and it's a horseshoe. So, I love him, and I'm so grateful.
Can you explain the symbolism behind it? I know that it's good luck, but there's two.
Good luck, but also he has a song called Tennessee, and at the end it says, headliner, I challenge you to a game of horseshoes. So I got some horseshoes.
I love it.
Yeah.
And what do you hope that everybody takes away from this film? It's such an important message, especially in these times. So what do you think about that?
Honestly, I just hope people go home, have conversations. I want us to open up the topic, make this not taboo. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's really happening.
Doing this evening, and how are you feeling about this premiere?
I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm relieved, I'm feeling everything at once.
Amazing. And I would love to know, what is your process like as a director in regards to choosing a script or writing and so forth?
Well, this idea really came to me very naturally. I was just struck by the inspiration. It grew out of my own life. And
I heard because you went to Yale, so I want to know, how did that touch base?
well, there was a lot that I think was unexamined about my time at Yale for, the time that I was there and even a few years after I graduated. And there was this one particular moment of confrontation, I say only in terms of crossing paths, with the master of my residence hall, who's someone who I really liked. But I called him master in that conversation, and it just hit me in that moment what a bizarre title it is, what a bizarre role that is for someone to assume in another person's life, and I just knew that I had to write about it.
Definitely. And what is so important to take away from this film? What do you really hope that the audience leaves with?
I'll leave that up to the audience.
I love it. So I want to know, what was it like directing an all-female cast? And then also, what was your directing process like? What's really important to you in regards to creating your vision?
Well, you know what? I think that everything is important to me, but at the core of it, it's really about the characters. And in turn, it's also really about the actors. And it's about, doing justice to the characters, to the Black women who inspired them, and then working with my collaborators as actors to really bring it to life. But, the camera and the photography is also really important to me. The production design, the costume, everything, is all, yeah, it takes a village, yeah.
Who's your biggest inspiration as a director that you look up to?
There are many, I'm not sure if I could choose one. I love a lot of the directors who made some of the classic horror pieces. I love Don't Look Now, I love The Shining and Rosemary's Baby. But, more contemporary directors, I love the work of Jordan Peele, I love Ari Aster, I love Robert Eggers. There are a lot of great people making amazing stuff, and I'm just excited by them.
And then as a director, I want to know, how do you get to the end result? How do you pull it all together? How do you decide what to edit? And how did you even decide to make this a horror film, which is my main question? I would love to know that aspect.
So starting with that part of the question, it was really apparent to me very early on that the story that I was trying to tell was a horror. And the process of going back through my own history and excavating these memories and the atmosphere of the place that I was trying to create all lent itself to horror. It just felt like the most truthful form that story could take. And it was a very, complex process to finish the film. And we had a pandemic hit us in the middle, which was not expected.
I heard that it paused for like 8 months, right?
Yeah, it did. We went up in late February 2020, and we went right up until a few days before the New York City lockdowns, and then we were down for the better part of a year. So it was not easy, but it was well worth it.
But we're here, and congratulations. Enjoy your evening, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Oh, there we go. So yes. Can I ask who you're wearing, by the way?
This is the Brock collection. Bag is Balenciaga. We went really vintage route with this one. Yeah.
And so can you tell me a little bit about the process as an actor of choosing a role and what really draws you into a role?
There's such thing as typecasting, which I don't think that phrase is applicable here, but I definitely love playing a Jewish girl because it's very close to home. Specifically, this role is a New York Jew, fun, active girl. I think when choosing a role to play, you want to make sure you can relate to it, but it's also pushing you past something that you would just, because every day, if you play something that you are every day, you're in a reality TV show, which, can be interesting in some aspects, but I think it's important to touch on aspects of yourself, but also make sure that you're challenging yourself and expanding on what you can do as an actor.
Definitely. And as an actress, how do you get into that role? What's kind of your method? Do you have method acting?
No.
Do you...
Well, it depends on what it is. For something like this, you kind of just have to start dressing like her. You don't necessarily have to act like her, but she's very girly and kind of like a jab, which is Jewish American princess, something I went to high school with those girls. So I would start wearing like little juicy sweatsuits to set, and just kind of making it fun.
What do you hope that the audience takes away from this film? Why is it so important to tell this story?
It's really important for, I feel like, people to see, especially in America, that racism lies not only in the news and not like far away, but it's something that we see every single day in places where we want to put our trust and feel safe and put community, institutions, especially high up. It's really hard to realize it as the reality, but it's true. Yeah.
What did you learn mostly from the director's direction? Was there any specific advice that she gave you as an actor?
Mariama keeps it real. So she's like, would you say that? She'll ask you, and that's really important as a director, especially when you're working with teenagers and kids, and we're all young adults. It's funny because we were all on set, and like none of us have actually been to college because we just started acting. We've all taken online classes and stuff, but she's like, would you guys do this? And we're like, maybe we'd change it here, or maybe we wouldn't. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really important that a director connects with the kids, especially when it's such a sensitive topic. And she would always check in with Zoe and always say, are you comfortable with this? Which I think is really important for a director.
I have actually seen you in The Great Comet.
Oh my God.
And I must congratulate you. So I would love to know, what is that transition like? Broadway to film? What is that like? Big difference? Or
There's a huge difference. I mean, you rehearse something to death before you're ever on a stage, and then you maybe rehearse something twice before you do it in a film. I'm like hearing my name. But I sort of love that about it. It's a totally different muscle. You just have to wing it and go with it and like trust your gut versus,
is there one that you prefer, since I know Broadway's more acting, singing, dancing? Or
I love them both for very different reasons, and I'm newer to TV film stuff, so I'm getting better at it, and I like exercising those weaker muscles, Yeah.
So what really drew you into this role, and why is this story so important to tell?
Wow. I mean, it's very specific to my body that I get to tell it, which was one of the initial turn-ons. It required somebody that can pass both ways, as black and white, and I very much so know what that is. Code switching is a real thing that we do in all sorts of ways, with status, with race, with gender. So it's fun to explore that stuff.
Yep, it's informative,
yeah.
educational, definitely.
Totally. Yeah.
So what kind of direction did the director give in regards to what you learned from her, or what you learned from Regina?
Yeah. I mean, Mariama's really the one with the vision. Like, she could see the genre, which, like, rides a few different lines, So I was always like, tell me, sister, like, because sometimes, like, Liv is bad at the thing, So I always had to look to Mariama for the gauge on that, which was really fun to just take her direction. Like, I was like, steer me. And then, like, come on, Regina was a huge reason why I was also excited about the film, to be with her and learn from her and just, like, be in her presence,
So I know that this isn't the first premiere of the movie, so I want to know, what was the reaction from the other audience that saw it, and then New York City?
I know, I saw it by myself.
So it's actually
I'm
premiere
really
for you
excited
too.
to see it with people. And I feel like I haven't been in a movie with people, so, and especially this movie. So
I heard that this was shot before Corona, and then what was that process like? Did it stop, or how did that go on?
I believe, because I came in after, I think there was some footage that was shot before, and then they had to stop for, I'm not sure if it was 8 months or a year, and then I came in and I had to come in when someone had not been able to finish the role or something. So I think that's what happened.
Got it. That's what happens in Hollywood.
Process, yeah, but happy to be able to do that.
So what drew you to this movie and the specific role? And I would love to hear your process in regards to acting. What kind of method do you go towards when becoming a character?
Well, this was very clearly drawn. I had seen Mariama's short, so I didn't really know her. I just seen what she'd done and was intrigued by that and the script. And actually, watching the movie is much more than I even could imagine that it was, in the way that it resonated. So.
And what was her direction like? What did you really learn from her?
She was very clear about what she wanted, and that's always, she had a vision, So I appreciate that, I wasn't there the whole time. I was, I got to pop in and out, and you can tell by the way she set up the camera that she knew exactly what, and you could tell what was going on.
And what do you hope that everybody takes away from this film? The final message, the vision.
The final message. I think this will resonate with different people in different ways, but I think the final message is maybe things aren't quite changing as rapidly as we'd like. There's still work to do. That's what I got, and a deep, feeling of it.
It's important.
Absolutely. She made a really great movie.
Thank you so much. Congratulations and enjoy the premiere. So I would love to know what led you to this role and why was this role so important to you?
I mean, oh my gosh, I just saw my friends. I mean, it was such a dark but beautiful story about inclusion and lack of inclusion. And after talking to Mariama about it and how she wanted to portray Amelia and use her to show even like not great people can also be struggling at college, and it was really cool.
So I want to know, what was the director like Mariana in regard to directing the actors?
I mean, she was amazing. Everything was always a conversation, and she was always open and receptive to new ideas or things that we wanted to try. And I also really appreciated her attention to detail and attention to costumes, because that really made the story come to life.
And my last question, what do you hope that the audience takes away from this film?
They're gonna walk away with a lot, but I don't know. I just hope that it forces students to think about how they interact in school. And
So I would love to know what really motivated you to choose this role as an actress.
Oh my gosh, I was just so thrilled to be part of anything that Mariama was directing. I saw her short and I loved it. And I just love being part of anything also that Regina Hall has to do with. And I just thought it was a great team. And I was like, I'm just going to jump in.
And all-female cast and directors, I would love to know, what did that energy feel like on set?
You know, it's so interesting because I've been doing this for a long time. And when I started as a kid in the 80s, a really long time ago. So I really noticed a difference, I have to say. And I noticed a difference on set. There was just a difference in the energy. I felt very relaxed. I felt like kind of less self-conscious. I felt more, I felt very supported, and I thought that the whole environment with the female DP, the brilliant Charlotte Hornsby, and all the rest of the cast, it was really just a supportive experience. It was great. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Always stamp approved to hear. So I would love to know, what do you hope that people take away from this film, and why is the story so important to tell?
Well, I think this is a story that clearly hasn't been told in this way before, and I think that we have a very a powerful new voice in film that's expressing herself, and I think that just that in and of itself is worth listening to. And I mean, obviously, I think it's an important story, partly because we haven't heard it before, and just for the creative reason that whenever you have a new talent that that's out there, you want to listen to what they have to say and hear their perspective. And I also love that it mixes a lot of different genres. So it's a history, it's a historical, it's also very current, it's also a ghost story, it's also a thriller, but it's
Lots of
also
themes, yeah.
and it's also a very personal story, and you can feel that. So she sort of takes her own reality and then jumps off into the genre, and in a very original way.
Definitely. Thank you so much, and congratulations. Enjoy the premiere.
Thank you.